From the most hated man in WWE to its undisputed tribal chief, Roman Reigns has become one of the biggest names in WWE history. A historic Universal Championship run that lasted over 1,000 days. Record-breaking merchandise sales. Wins over legends like Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, Randy Orton, and Edge. The tribal chief has truly conquered every mountain WWE has to offer. But how does he stack up against generational icons like John Cena and The Rock? Where does the head of the table rank when compared to these legends in their prime, in terms of popularity, in-ring ability, mic skills, and box office draw? Do the old guard still reign supreme, or has the OTC already surpassed them? Let's find out together and explore why Roman Reigns might just be the last true megastar of the WWE. Let's start with John Cena. The 17-time world champion, the undisputed GOAT, the man who carried WWE on his shoulders for over a decade. From 2005 to 2014, Cena dominated the wrestling scene like no one. The kids loved him, the adults hated him. But when it's all said and done, Cena has earned the respect of an entire generation and cemented his legacy on the Mount Rushmore of WWE. So who is the bigger star between Cena and Reigns? Let's break it down category by category. Roman Reigns' journey to the top has been nothing short of extraordinary. In his early days, the WWE Universe rejected the big dog. But when Reigns turned into the tribal chief, the same WWE Universe acknowledged him as the head of the table. Today, Reigns commands some of the loudest crowd reactions in the business. His main event appeal is undeniable. Multiple WrestleMania main events, appearing on major talk shows, and dominating social media conversations. However, Cena might still have the edge here. For over a decade, John Cena wasn't just a wrestler. He was an emotion for fans worldwide. His never-give-up motto transcended wrestling and inspired millions worldwide. When Cena's music hit, everyone was on their feet. Whether it was an episode of Raw or a pay-per-view, Cena was the guy people paid to see. His Make-A-Wish record, mainstream movie career, and consistent presence in pop culture gave him a reach that few wrestlers have ever achieved. Cena became a household name that even non-wrestling fans recognized. While Reigns is undoubtedly the biggest star in wrestling today, Cena's longer tenure as the face of WWE and his crossover appeal might give him the slight advantage in overall popularity. Up next, let's talk about their in-ring skills. While Cena was often criticized early in his career for his limited moveset and the infamous 5 Moves of Doom, he dramatically improved during the second half of his run. His matches against CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles showcased a more technical, storytelling-focused Cena that many fans had never seen before. Reigns, however, has always been the superior in-ring performer. His power game is unmatched, and he also knows how to take it to the skies, from devastating spears to thunderous power bombs, from the Superman punch to the guillotine choke. Reigns has a diverse arsenal that feels both brutal and believable. His matches consistently deliver on the big stage, and his ring psychology has evolved tremendously since his early days. Where Cena relied on heart and determination to win matches, Reigns combines raw athleticism with calculated aggression, making him the clear winner in this category. Next, let's talk about their mic skills. In his early days, Reigns had a hard time on the mic. His babyface promos as the big dog were often boring and unconvincing. But the tribal chief persona unleashed something special. Reigns began delivering cold, calculated promos that oozed aura and established him as a menace. He schooled the likes of Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and even Cena himself with his newfound confidence and charisma. However, John Cena has always been known as an absolute demon on the microphone. The man who verbally destroyed The Rock, made The Miz question his entire existence, and buried multiple stars on the mic. Cena's quick wit and ability to cut a promo off the cuff made him one of the best talkers in WWE history. While Reigns has dramatically improved and his current character work is exceptional, Cena's decade-plus of elite microphone work gives him the edge in this category. But who had the best feuds and storylines between Cena and Reigns? Cena's feuds against Randy Orton, CM Punk, and Edge will always be remembered as classic WWE storytelling. His battles with Umaga and his rivalry with Batista shaped the ruthless aggression era. However, the Bloodline storyline might be the best thing WWE has produced in the last decade. The slow-burn family drama, the incorporation of the Usos and Sami Zayn, and the eventual climax at WrestleMania created television that felt authentic and had fans emotionally invested. Beyond the Bloodline, Reigns has had memorable feuds with Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and Daniel Bryan that have consistently elevated WWE TV. While Cena's body of work spans a longer period, the sheer quality and cultural impact of the Bloodline saga gives Reigns the slight edge in this category. But who is the bigger box office attraction between these two icons? John Cena was the undisputed top guy for over a decade, and the numbers prove why. From 2005 to 2014, Cena ran the yard as WWE's marquee attraction, headlining 5 WrestleManias, including the record-breaking WrestleMania 28 against The Rock, which drew 1.25 million pay-per-view buys and generated an $8.9 million gate. During the pay-per-view era, Cena's merchandise dominated WWE shops for over 15 years, making him the company's top seller for the majority of his career. On the house show circuit, Cena regularly drew 5,000 to 10,000 plus fans across tours, and Cena's weekly segments consistently moved ratings during both the Ruthless Aggression and PG eras. His crossover appeal extended to Hollywood blockbusters like Fast 9, Peacemaker, and The Suicide Squad, making him a legit mainstream star. However, Roman Reigns has certainly proven his worth as a modern draw, headlining 6+ WrestleManias and overtaking Cena in merchandise sales around 2018. WrestleMania 39 generated a massive 21.6 million gate across 2 nights, though inflation and the streaming era make direct comparisons with the PG era challenging. Reigns' segments consistently rate as television's most watched content, and his social media engagement rivals any current star. However, Reigns operates in a fundamentally different business model. With pay-per-view buys irrelevant in the Peacock era, his drawing power is harder to quantify. He rarely works house shows and relies primarily on television and premium live events, which limits his overall exposure. While Reigns is undoubtedly the biggest star in today's WWE, Cena's sustained drawing over a decade cannot be overlooked. So, while Reigns and Cena might be neck and neck, how about when we compare the Tribal Chief to The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment and Roman's own cousin? How does Roman stack up against the Great One? Let's find out. When it comes to popularity, The Rock is undoubtedly one of the biggest stars in wrestling history. The Rock helped define the Attitude Era, which was arguably wrestling's hottest period. His legendary feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin, his iconic catchphrases, the trademark eyebrow raise, and those electric promos will always be remembered as peak WWE. But beyond wrestling, The Rock's mainstream appeal as a Hollywood megastar is something no wrestler has ever matched. From Fast and Furious to Jumanji to Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson became one of the highest-paid actors in the world. His social media following dwarfs any current wrestler, and he's a legit A-list celebrity who transcends sports entertainment. Despite Roman being a massive star and the current face of WWE, The Rock has the clear advantage when it comes to overall popularity. But what about in-ring skills? When it comes to in-ring ability, this is actually a much closer contest than many might expect. The Rock had his signature arsenal, the People's Elbow, the Rock Bottom, and the devastating Spinebuster. His charisma in the ring was unmatched, and he could work the crowd like few others. However, The Rock was always more about entertainment than pure wrestling technique. When it comes to pure athleticism and ring psychology, Reigns has the clear edge in this department. Especially during his evolution throughout the Bloodline story, Reigns displayed a completely different side of in-ring psychology and storytelling that elevated every match he was in. Whether he was facing Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, or Seth Rollins, his moves felt more impactful, his selling was more believable, and his ability to build drama throughout a match has become masterful. The Rock was electric, but Reigns is the superior worker between the ropes. This category goes to the Tribal Chief. In the mic skills department, The Rock is once again the undisputed king. His legendary insults, his ability to improvise on the spot, and his natural comedic timing will always go down in history as some of the greatest mic work ever. In fact, a big reason fans are clamoring for an eventual Rock vs. Reigns dream match is just the anticipation of the mic battles that these two family members could deliver. While Reigns has dramatically improved on the microphone and his current character work is exceptional, The Rock's natural gift for entertainment and his legendary promo ability give him the clear victory here. It remains to be seen if we'll ever get that dream feud, but as of now, The Rock gets the win in this category. Coming to storylines and feuds, The Rock had some of the most memorable rivalries in WWE history, against legends like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and even The Undertaker. His feuds helped define an entire generation of wrestling fans and created moments that are still talked about today. But once again, the Bloodline saga was so compelling and so beautifully executed that you have to give Reigns the edge in this category. In fact, the main Bloodline story itself ran almost as long as the entire Attitude Era. So in this category, Reigns gets the victory for being part of what might be the greatest long-term storyline in modern wrestling history. And finally, let's talk about the big one. Who is the bigger draw between the Tribal Chief and the most electrifying man in sports entertainment? Roman Reigns has proven himself as a legitimate merchandise machine, generating approximately $1.16 million in annual merch revenue as of 2021, ranking 5th overall on WWE's sales charts. His monthly search value sits around $547,000, placing him second only to John Cena in fan engagement metrics during 2023 to 2024. The Rock, by comparison, generated around $992,000 in annual merchandise sales during his prime, with a significantly lower monthly search value of approximately $169,000. On paper, this might suggest Reigns has the edge in current drawing power. However, context is everything. The Rock operated during the pay-per-view era when concrete buy rate numbers told the real story of drawing power. Reigns, operating primarily in the WWE Network and Netflix streaming era, doesn't have comparable buy rate records to measure against. While Reigns might be the bigger draw within the current WWE ecosystem, The Rock's peak drawing power during the pay-per-view era and his massive mainstream crossover appeal give him the overall edge as a box office attraction. Because The Rock didn't just draw wrestling fans, he drew the entire world. While Reigns might have not yet surpassed The Rock and John Cena, he certainly belongs in the conversation of wrestling goats and will go down as the last megastar of this generation. But let me know what you think. Is Roman Reigns a bigger star than The Rock and John Cena? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.